Welcome to the Foundations of Reading 90 Test Preparation Online course. This video is brought to you by foundationsofreading.com, the best source to help you pass the Foundations of Reading test. By the end of this video, you will understand everything you need to know for your exam about the topic of phonemic awareness. Without further ado, let's begin. Make passing the Foundations of Reading test a breeze. Click the link in the description to enroll in the course and receive instant access to the study guide. Before we dive into phonemic awareness, we need to spend a moment to understand phonological awareness, which is the knowledge that oral English is composed of smaller units. This is the greater umbrella that holds phonemic awareness, word analysis, and syllabic awareness. Phonological awareness is an auditory skill that involves an understanding of the spoken sounds of language. Now let's move on to phonemic awareness. This is the ability to distinguish the separate phonemes or sounds in a spoken word. For example, dog has three sounds, d, g. On your test, you will want to know the definitions of words, the instructional strategies to teach them, and how to differentiate your instruction to meet the needs of all of your learners, as well as how to assess your students' understanding. The previous page taught the definition of phonemic awareness, and now we will move on to the instructional strategy. Knowing the correct instructional strategy for each reading need is crucial for you to be able to write a passing response on your open-ended questions. So pay close attention, particularly when this course introduces these instructional strategy pages to a given reading need. Let's begin. There are three ways to teach phonemic awareness. Here I'll share the following three instructional strategies in order of easiest for the student to the most difficult for the student. If you receive a question about providing phonemic awareness instruction, start with the most difficult, which is sound segmentation. You'll see that on the screen here in a moment. If the student demonstrates the understanding of sound segmentation, their phonemic awareness level is fulfilled. If through sound segmentation activity, however, they demonstrate confusion or an inability to complete this activity, demonstrate on your exam that you understand. As a teacher, you will move down towards the next easier instructional strategy, which is sound blending. Okay, so you're starting at sound segmentation, you're going then to sound blending if the student demonstrates confusion or an inability to perform the task given. Now, if sound blending is too difficult for the student, then you will move to the next easiest instructional strategy, which is sound isolation. Sound isolation, which is the easiest for the student of all the instructional strategies for phonemic awareness, looks like this. The teacher gives the student a word and asks the student to isolate the beginning, middle, or end sound. For example, if the teacher asked, "What is the beginning sound of bat?" the student would correctly answer with the sound B. Sound blending is next, and this instructional activity is the second easiest for the student to complete. A sound blending activity looks like this. The teacher says the sounds of a word and briefly pauses between each sound, then asks the student, "Which word is it?" So for example, the teacher says b, a, t, and the student would correctly answer bat. Sound segmentation is the most difficult instructional strategy for the student. It is also the best indication to the student's phonemic awareness level. This type of instruction looks like the following. The teacher says a word and asks the student to segment or break apart the word through its sounds. For example, the teacher might say bat, and the student would need to correctly say b, a, t. The exam will not usually ask a general question about phonemic awareness, but instead specifically ask you how you differentiate instruction to meet the needs of a specific learner, who is either going to be a struggling reader, an English learner, or an advanced learner. For struggling readers, focus on key skills using sound blending and sound segmenting. For English learners, teach phonemes that do not exist in their first language. And for our advanced readers, increase the pace of instruction and build onto their existing skills. Each instructional strategy has a matching assessment that you'll want to remember for your test. To assess phonemic awareness, start with sound segmentation. If that is too difficult for the student, assess the student's sound blending skills. If this is too difficult, assess the student's sound isolation skills. A good way to remember whether a lesson involves phonemic awareness is to ask yourself, could this activity be done in the dark? What is meant by this is that phonemic awareness tasks are audio or sound only. There is no writing involved. Knowing this will help you on your exam because if there is a question that asks which response best fits a phonemic awareness tasks, then you'll know none of them should have any writing involved.